Clubhouse. And let's see what the bans are, because this is always going to determine who gets the better end of the stick.
Well, Sick6ers are going to be starting out on that defense, of course, so we'll see exactly how they want to swing things here with their attack ban. You know, I would normally call out something I expect here, but I have no idea what to expect from Sick6ers. It is going to be Hibana ban. Interesting. You don't see too much Hibana on Clubhouse, although I do like that ban.
We've seen a fair few Hibana bans so far in Clubhouse. You know, you look across all regions, that hasn't been like a real strange thing. I kind of feel like that's because teams realize that how good they can get it on their defensive half with the Church. Hibana was a massive thing for being added in for Clubhouse. There was free hatches, a lot of walls. It just means that specific basement is going to be really difficult to get rid of whenever you're kind of limited to only a Thermite, and now you don't even get the Maverick to accompany that, so this makes things a heck of a lot harder for the attack.
Yeah, that's also going to leave Capitao up, however, which I think is a rare occurrence on Clubhouse to not see a Capitao ban, and he is going to be allowed through into that. We're going to see a Mirror ban come out as well, so Sick6ers are going to be given the last ban. I'm going to guess probably an Echo, but it could also be Maestro, or really something else different, but no, it is going to be an Echo. So that does leave Maestro up on the board, but there's also quite a lot of operators on the board who potentially you would see to be banned here. Thatcher, of course, as well, making his way through, Cade making his way through, and there's still a lot to play with here in terms of operators, but those two attacker bans, the Hibana and the Maverick, that is going to swing things pretty heavily into the favor of the defense, unless Guardians are, you know, they're used to playing with a Capitao and they know how to play this off, but doesn't look like they're bringing this.
Well, just only having the Thermite, it should be okay for your top floor cache. It's the Church now that you need to worry about. There isn't really anything stopping you from carrying out a great attack in towards the cache. You still have your Thermite to create that massive breach. You still have multiple ways of getting rid of like a Bandit or a Kaid whenever Thatcher's still on the board. That shouldn't be a real issue. It's just that the way the basement is kind of laid out with the reinforcements, you need more than one hard breach to actually make a successful push, because you can end up kind of bottlenecking yourself into like a one-way street that you can't really back your way out of. And that could be an issue that Guardians could run into with only just having the Thermite, because now you're limited to options. Whenever you only have the two Thermites, you kind of go back to the year 1 meta before Hibana was in. Clubhouse was still back in the day. Of course, it was old Clubhouse, but it kind of plays out similar to how the basement still is being held. You have free hatches, you can open up 2 of them. Typically, teams like to try and open up triple wall. Do you then sacrifice a kitchen or a blue hatch to still keep enough for the triple wall? A lot of options now that teams can go for. Heck, we can even see the kitchen plus dirt tunnel that used to be an old thing back in the day. There is still options, but it's going to be a lot tougher, and a lot of decision-making now for Guardians to see if they can pull this out of the bag.
I'm kind of surprised from Sick6ers we haven't seen a lot more hard breach denial. I really would have expected a Cade or at least a Bandit, really. We do see the Mute coming into this, and also it does give rise to that Mute and Mozzie combo coming through. But with Thatcher up on the board still, a lot of that is still going to be affected. I still would like to see maybe like a kitchen take, but oh, it looks like Ashe already making her way through onto dirt. They've already opened it up, so this is looking like an immediate kitchen take. And we'll see already the Ashe slowly creeping her way down. The Mute Gem, that's badly placed as well. Senkai is still able to get all the way in here. Drone is going to go out ahead of them. They've got to know there's someone K9 right now. He'll peek up. Senkai takes the first kill. Mice is down already. That's a great entry frag coming out from the Ashe, and that's really all you need with that dirt push to be successful. Oh no, the refrag does come through from 7, however, as the work side to get done above. Nitro is going to go out, but KDS does survive that.
So now they've kind of trapped themselves into simply going for the dirt and kitchen. They've wasted 1 Thermite charge to open up the dirt, and I'm sure the other one will try and be used in kitchen. I do expect KDS now to try and assist his team, and he knows their Maestro there. Why isn't he using more of his skeleton key? There's not really any places Maestro can sit, and still doesn't end up getting the kill, but instead Thermite will have to do the job for him, and now Guardians, they're in the site, 7x all to do it. And that's Guardians. Round number 1, down to sheer gunfights alone.
Just a really good round for them. I think really bad setup from Sick6ers, honestly, though, from the... they had a signal disruptor in dirt, but it didn't actually block all of that dirt tunnel, and the drone was able to get really deep in. Like, if you're going to put a signal disruptor there, that is clearly for a drone, and it just wasn't placed correctly, and it allowed the Ashes to get all the way in there, and just get at such a tight angle. You've got to be worried about that crouch walking Ashe. And I mean, We've seen it a number of times actually already in OGA, just a crouch walking Ashe coming through and has devastated people on the flank.
Oh, we see that just not in OGA. Anywhere in the
everywhere.
world
Yeah,
you will see that.
Is like
That's
classic
a common occurrence.
comp, yeah.
You know, that's why we always talk about the 5-speed Ashe, who just walks in and out of nowhere explodes into the bomb site. And if you have a player who is capable and can play in that mindset where he is solely designed to get kills, that is perfect. Entry fragging is one of the hardest roles you can have on a team. And if you have someone who can do that well, who just doesn't have a brain and just kills, that's a great asset for any team to have. But then it also means you need to have a even better IGL to control that thing.
That is true, but Guardians, definitely, I mean, that is exactly what you need to do, and I think this is kind of what I expected from Guardians, looking at their kind of like map pool, that they're going to be a very adaptive team, and they just look at what's going wrong in their setup, and they go, okay, let's just hammer into that side then, and that's going to be a very important win for Guardians on a core site, and a core site that we thought was going to be a big issue for attackers to try and get into. Let's see if Sick6ers manage to change their setup a little bit. They're bringing the Bandit instead of the Mute this time. I think that's a good change, considering that you weren't doing too much of a roam game.
Yeah, but Bandit's not really going to do much anyway with the kind of push that we've seen come out from Guardians.
Yeah.
Surprised why Kaid wasn't chosen, because that's been like the obvious one to try and stop the Thermite charge. No impact tricking as well on that main hatch, which is also surprising, I feel, from Sick6ers, but I think that's probably just because they had pressure in dirt for Guardians, which was like the main thing. And you can't really go for a safe impact trick whenever you know someone's breathing down your back end of the bomb site. I just feel as if Guardians is going to try and play with the frags. They're not really going to respect the setup from the defense 9 times out of 10. They'll just try and run in as much as they can, you know, utilizing that Ashe that we know is just going to rain havoc in anything that he can find.
It definitely is. Kyo trying
to
move all the way up, but it's going to be that Ashe entry frag again coming down. 7x goes down, and already a 4v5 has developed. Things looking really good for Guardians again, and typically that entry frag does tend to swing things into the favor of the team who gets that entry.
Also, IQ in a great position in blue, not being contested, and he can try and assist KDS, who doesn't even need assistance as he's fragging out with the para, but then very quickly does get eliminated. It doesn't matter as Guardians, they have that man advantage, and oh, Bandit just barely missing the IQ, takes a lot of damage from it, and now Kingstar will try and rotate down to the same position that Capital was.
Yeah, the Bandit's very, very low HP, and he will be eliminated by Kingstar. It's all down to Beckman to see if he can bring this in. Still holding on to Moto. He does have that camera up on default. Diffuser is actually down on Moto Hatch as well. So it's definitely very, very winnable right now with 3v1. He's going to slowly push up. Drones have come out, but no, he's going to be eliminated. And Guardians take round number 2. This is looking absolutely beautiful from them. And they're just completely tearing them apart right now. They've got all the info. They know exactly the kind of setup. And I just think there's huge mistakes in the setup coming out from Sick6ers.
Yeah, this is LATAM to a T. There is no real in-depth strategy. There is no real taking your time with Clubhouse, which is kind of the norm. They're trying to speedrun, which, again, is kind of what LATAM has done for the past 2 playdays. They just want to try and get this game done and out of the way with and as quick as they can to move on. And Guardians, they're just going to just run through them, similar to what we've seen every LATAM team who have had that upper edge, who we kind of pitch to be the better side and who can move on to the next round against these tier 3 teams who we kind of know nothing about, who we don't really expect anything from them. And Guardians are just running it for all it's worth.
They definitely are. Moving to round number 3, however, as we go to a CCTV room and cash room defense now. So, Sick6ers obviously, and they've decided that wasn't working for them, and they're going to go upstairs instead. I think we kind of expect that this is not really the problem bomb site here for Guardians, but we haven't seen them attack it just yet. I think one of the big issues for Sick6ers is this Ashe has been able to get in and get an entry frag every single round so far. It's a lot harder to do that on this site, I think. Especially with the Legion being brought now.
Legion, I thought, was going to be for the second round for Sick6ers, simply because if they had issues with a crouch walking Ashe in dirt, with no real sound indication or information to know that she was there, Legion's like the obvious one to stop any rushes. That's why he was brought in as the time whenever the meta was very potent to quick rushes in, and we've seen Legion and Ella being added into one update, which, you know, old Ella back in the day, boy, with the 4 Grismots and everything that she had going for her. We still kind of see the same rushes, because Legion isn't, I would say, a big thing compared to like back in the day. Yes, he's still like a great operator that I feel fits into any team composition, but other teams like to go for the more utility-based operators that counter like main hard breachers and you know, different operators specifically, rather than like just a crouch walking Ashe.
Kind of surprised that they didn't barricade the door to stop any Zofia tracking going down, but Guardians not brought Zofia, so not intended to do that, and the Capital hasn't exactly tried to check it out. Listen, what is that? That is terrible coordination coming up from Guardians when we have Capital up on the board. This Bandit should not have been allowed to do that. Capital is going to start to move up, however, just fire the crossbow bolt, but Bandit isn't even near the wall right now, and KDS should be aware of this right now, though.
Just Bandit playing his hand, and KDS never really went for the peak. Sure, they lost one Bandit, the Bandit trick lost one charge, but it doesn't really matter whenever they get that wall open. That's the only thing they really need to make this push a success. But then they've rotated everybody towards construction and are looking to push in towards A, but they don't have any more hard breach to try and make that a success. But hey, if you have Ashe fragging out, then does it really matter? So pretty much for Guardians, they will just keep going with the let's push in and try and get the kills technique.
Yeah, they'll definitely try and do that. Looks like Kaneho from the other side is going to try and do what he can, but it's going to be the Maestro who takes Kingstar off the board already, turning it into a 4v4. With the Legion being down, and I think this is kind of swinging to the favor of Guardians. They have a lot more control, but as you said, that construction wall is not going to be easy to push into. And yeah, it does seem confusing that we've spent so many people from Guardians pushing that side, rather than trying to go for a straight-up execute into the server side.
They're inside though. They've just jumped in the windows and through the breach, and now Capital barely misses the man in the corner. But then there's the refrags, and Guardian, they collapse as well as they did in the past 2 rounds, and they take round number 3, and well, James, I think we're in for a quick night.
Yeah, this is looking absolutely awful from Sick6ers. I mean, I think there's been a lot of mistakes in their setup, although, you know, you could say that the Bandit trick was successful, and the Bandit doesn't really need to keep tricking that wall if he just got one Thermite. I mean, I think you can play your life there then. But yeah, it's crazy that they just allowed them to collapse inland with only one wall open. It normally takes a couple of walls at least, or maybe even some kind of execute, but yeah, Guardians just don't seem to care about any of that, and they just seem to walk in and just still getting this entry frag every single time. There's Ashe 3 times in a row. Senkai's done a great job on the entry.
Back up the cash now, and you know, if you're Sick6ers and you look at the bans, you think, okay guys, this should be an easy defensive half. There's no Habana, there's no Maverick, only just the Thermite. They're limited with their options. Church should be an absolute godsend. We'll never lose that, ever. Oh, look, we lost the first 2 rounds. Right, let's try cash. Oh, we've just lost this now. Let's try it once more, and I don't think it's going to work for them again. The way that they're kind of set up, it's too stale for my liking. It's too basic positions. Guardians are not being caught up by surprise. Everything that they are pushing in for, they're expecting that to be done by Sick6ers, and they're falling into that trap. They're not trying to take the aggression to them. They're sitting on site. They're allowing Guardians just to do whatever they want, to push in how they please, and slaughter them whenever they feel like it.
There's still cracks in the attack coming out from Guardians. There was a little bit of miscoordination there that allowed one of the Thermite charges to get Bandit tricked in. As you said, they moved into construction. I think the whole plan was that it wasn't going to get tricked at all, and they were just, you know, kind of banking off of that whole thing. So we'll see how things are going to go out for Sick6ers. It looks like they're going to just bring in the same setup they did last time. But yeah, as you said, this is a very, very basic setup, and this is kind of what Guardians should be expecting moving into this, and especially already seeing the operator lineup. But it looks like we see a little bit more aggressive roam coming out here from Sick6ers. Beckman on the roam. Sure.
Last time I went for a roam game was round number 2, and they got chewed up alive by the Ashe, who was, of course, hunting, and probably will try and do once more. So set up from the defense, holding in towards Garage, which didn't get pushed as heavily as what you would expect, and that's the aggression that we kind of needed. That was Maestro just trying his hand to try and challenge the IQ, and, well, she does bite the dust. So Guardians on the back foot, but we have seen this before where it doesn't really phase them. Even if they do lose that first kill, they can still manage to push on in. There's the first Fixate and Bolt, and I'm sure that we should see the wall being opened up, and say that, there goes the first one. So that does create that, of course, that massive breach. It sanctions off the Maestro. He is now officially trapped and has also been downed, and with no dock on the side of Sick6ers, he's not going to be picked up anytime soon.
Yeah, There's a lot of control now for Guardians here to start to move in and get a little bit more control, but Thermite getting way too aggressive, and it is going to get shut down. There's also Diffuser down, and that one Thermite charge that was left spare is not going to be able to be utilized anymore. The Bandit very, very low, however, for that trade. And we still have plenty of utility up from Guardians right now, as well as that entry coming out. But he doesn't know that he's down. This is poor droning coming out from Guardians, but there we go. KDS is going to confirm that kill with a Capital Bolt. That's not great utility usage, but he's still got a couple smokes. So.
Tries to peek on in and will eliminate the Legion and takes his head clean off the shoulders. And all of a sudden, there is potential for Guardians to try and win this out. Oh, but unfortunately, the refrag. Great crossfire had been established by Jaeger below and wasn't checked out by Guardians. And the man who has been causing Sick6ers a lot of issues is all by himself. See if he can push in. Has the R4C in hand. Doesn't have Diffuser though, so just playing for the kills.
Yeah, he's got plenty of time to work with, however, and 3 flashbangs as well, but none of that's going to help him. Sick6ers find their first round on the defense, finally putting themselves on the board here, and potentially, you know, a little bit more cautious about it. I feel like there's just really bad droning coming out from Guardians so far. The fact that the Maestro was downed up in rafters, and they used a Capital Bot to kill him after he was down for, what, like 20 seconds still? That is something they should just have been able to confirm so far. I'm not sure why the Thermite was so aggressive on the wall as well, and like, there's cracks on both sides right now, but Guardians definitely the better team right now. It just feels like a lot of the time that Sick6ers haven't really adapted to these operator bans.
It's not even like the lack of droning, it's simply because Guardians are getting carried away. They have that kind of cockiness around them, they're feeling very confident, they're just going to try and push in and kill as many people as they can. They're peeking one by one with no refrag potential. They are just playing as 5 players rather than a team, but perhaps a team rush could help them out, as whenever I see the Finca being locked in by Latin America, I know that means a rush is coming.
Any region, honestly. I think we've seen, every time we've seen a Finca from any region, it's just been an immediate rush coming out from most of them, but let's see how it does go down. We don't see any Cade again coming out from Sick6ers, so I think this is fine from Guardians to have this lineup to not bring the Thatcher, because they shouldn't really be that worried about it. If they're going for a pure dirt and kitchen take, then, and they just want to rush through dirt or rush through kitchen or whatever and rush down the main stairs, then it's completely fine. They don't really need a Thatcher here. If they just want to bring the fraggers, you know, you've got the Twitch, the Zofia, the Ashe, it's absolutely fine. But the Finca, that works quite well. So we'll have a look at what that's going to go down. Kingstar has managed to move his drone up into blue as well, but just get eliminated. So I'm very interested in what the actual take is here from Guardians, but I would guess mostly a kitchen side take, maybe a rush down main stairs.
Wherever the wind takes them, whenever they see an option, Pulse being added into the lineup, that should help them to gain that early information, because if you select 4 bodies in main stairs, you know exactly what to expect,
no.
and well, that's a great start now for Sick6ers. Just a little spawn peek that clearly Guardians weren't expecting on their end, and that does set them up nicely, especially losing the Ashe, who, well, had a big thing to say on those past 2 church defense.
I mean, that's kind of what happens when you get a little bit too overzealous and you do get spawn peaked like that, and things can go badly for you. Drone's going into blue, however, KDS leading the charge on the Zofia to see what he can do here, but Pulse is going to be saying that, and they do know. They've given up control of blue, but they're going to know if anyone is in blue. Finca Buff is going to go out now. KDS is going to try and make his way through, but Nitro is going to go out. It's going to miss its target, unfortunately, as Dino is going to pick up the first kill of the round. Does get traded instantly, sorry, first kill for Guardians, as they move in to try and get control, but Brady goes down as well from dirt. No dirt push coming through at all, and it's just a complete slaughter. It's all down to Kingstar. He finds 1. He's got to find 3 more if he wants to bring this in. He's got plenty of time to work, and he gets another kill. 7 does go down. He's got 2 more to find if he wants to bring this in, but no, the Valkyrie is able to take him down. Sickers do take round number 5, and things looking much better for them here. They need another round, though, if they really want to bring this in for themselves.
Oh yeah, they only have 1 more chance now at defense. This is their last one, and they have to make it count, and it will be for their gym. We haven't seen a gym yet, though, so this is new territory for everyone now in the lobby. Let's see their lineups. They'll probably tell us a little bit more of what they're thinking, so Mute straight away. That leads me to believe that they will extend in towards construction. He's the go-to operator for that side of the map, and will Castle be chosen along with the Bandit? Obviously, with no Maverick being there, then the Bandit is like automatically thinking, okay guys, I can just stop them from pushing in via the Bandit trick, bring the Castle, sanction off the windows, and then we should be good. But no Castle, though, from the team of Sick6ers, which is strange. Whenever I see Maverick and Habana gone, Bandit just becomes such a strong operator. There's nothing that he really has to fear about whenever he's behind so much utility and ADSs and everything that kind of goes with that. That's a bit strange one, but I'm sure they will be extending into construction as, yes, they start piling in towards that side of the map, simply because Mute on the table, who is known for being picked up simply to deny the drone access that teams would want to have whenever you're trying to get in towards cash.
Yeah, that jacuzzi wall, it's a bit of a doozy to open up now with no Maverick and no Habana. So really only relying on that Thatcher and Thermite combination. If he can get one Thermite at least, then yeah, he can really bring that in. So yeah, it is kind of puzzling to see no castle being brought here, but we'll have a look at what the strategy is here, and as you said, does seem to be mostly that cash side hold. Of course, they can make that hole into construction, that they can see all the way through onto the gym window, and that should give them a good idea about what is going on, and we'll have a look how Guardians wants to deal with it. They've brought a very different lineup here. Senkai, for the first time, not playing the Ash, is going to be bringing the Sledge instead. I like the nade usage bringing here.
So, Guardians, how will they set up shop? For the first time, not having the Ash. Instead, the Sledge will be brought, and don't really think he's going to be doing too much self-destruction with the Sledge, but perhaps anticipating a 6-pick castle from Sick6ers was probably the thinking behind for that pickup. I don't think Sledge will do that much damage. You know, realistically, sure, he gets nades. It's just another gun. The gadget isn't going to be that useful since there is no castle. But since they know there's no castle, it just gives them the free entry to push on in and open up that jacuzzi. I'm guessing they're going to try and rush in via gym window and also the breach. Will be interesting if somebody rotates and tries to take main stairs, because that's kind of like the pinnacle point now for many of like the gym bedroom pushes, is that main stairs, because it cuts off the crosses that you would want to have and can also eliminate people rotating back in towards construction.
Oh,
as I say that, they're now in, so it's just worked the charm. There's not much we can say apart from they go for the picks, they win their gunfight, so now a 2v4, and they're not even going for the defuse, they're just going for the frags, and they get them. Guardians, another rush for them. They just speedrun after speedrun.
Yeah, and that's going to put them in a really great position going into the second half now, and this just seems like an absolute massacre going in. We saw a little bit signs of life coming out from Sick6ers, but I'm hoping now from Guardians they have a bit of a better idea about how to play these operator bands around and how exactly they should set it up. I am really expecting a Cade here on this church defense, and there we go. It is going to be picked out by KDS, so I'm glad to see that being brought through. We did talk a lot about how a Cade could be very useful in this situation. And also impact tricking, hopefully, is going to come down as well. I'm going to guess he's going to stick the pick off the Vigil onto the Cade.
Double French as well for Church. Don't see that a whole lot. We used to see that back in the day, but that was a very long time ago where there wasn't a lot of operator choices that you used to be able to get. I like seeing Double French, though, because it can be pretty deadly on the defense. You have long ACOG angles that can be held by heavies who take a lot, and, you know, they're both operators who give more, like, health. You know, Rook gives you more armor, means you can take more bullets, and then, of course, Doc there to stim you up.
He didn't 6-pick it. He's sticking with the Vigil, so...
I think Guardians are here for the frags.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely with the way that their gym rush went, I think they're all about it. I do like a Vigil here, and like the double French is good for peeking out that long hallway and just generally just holding those long angles and shutting them down, and the MP5 obviously a great gun. So yeah, it does seem like Guardians are playing really frag heavy right now. They do have a decent amount of impacts, like, you know, the Rooks. Hope is bringing impacts here as well as the Vigil. So they should be able to like impact trick and just do whatever they want with that.
5 seconds to insertion.
He's going for the spawn peak, isn't he?
He can do whatever he wants. He has the Navi skin, and as we know, that gives you +10 spawn peak.
Definitely does.
Oh, look at Rook as well. Okay, so they're just going for it.
They're going for it.
They're pincering, and I like this because if you think about the way that he went for that spawn peak, he had no risk there because Rook upstairs was covering the shipping dock side of things. That was really smart. I like that.
Yeah, the double spawn peak strategy is good coming out from Guardians. However, it will not pay them any dividends so far. However, they will start to play this still very, very aggressively. Oh, bit of Jackal! Already taken off the board. I was just about to mention about how there is a Jackal on the board. That's going to make this roaming game a bit harder, but he's already down. Brady, again, going to find his own kill as well. And this is looking so bad right now.
Drone active. Reloading. Cover me.
Okay. Sick6ers, you've pretty much lost everybody off the rip. You've lost majority of your fragging potential. You know, there's no Buck, there's no Jackal, and everybody's just being slaughtered.
God,
And this is just expected.
Brady! That's a quadra kill coming out from Brady. No, it's not just a 3k, but Kaneho is going to lock things out. And oh my god, an absolute slaughter from the Frenchies. The heavy spawn peak strategy coming out from Guardians and just proving just how much better they are than Sick6ers. And it just seems like they don't even have to use strategy. They can just run at them. And
I love
yeah,
how
they can just shoot
excited
them
you
down.
get with the kind of Brazil teams. Because I seen
great.
this. I was really excited the first couple of days I seen it.
Yeah.
But now it's just like a common thing, you know?
Well, I
You just
casted...
get used to it.
Well, we casted the OGA Season 2 hit for them. That was purely LATAM. We did all the double 11 games there, and that was some heated stuff because it's great to see LATAM teams where they don't even have to use the strategy and they just go straight for like rushes because they've got, I think, the most impressive gun skill out of any of the regions. And I think they're known for that, right?
Well, gun skill wise.
Yeah.
I don't know. I look at all of the regions. I think you have your main fraggers throughout it. You know, if you throw in, let's say, Citizen, Nesk, and Bolo into a 1v1v1, how does that end up?
I guess we'll never know. Oh, will we?
No, we'll never know.
Ah.
Liquid's never going to qualify for a Pro League final. Well, we still have a chance here, but you know, they still have to go through the LAN, of course.
So, getting to round number 8. This is an important round for Guardians to try and bring it in to that 6-round match point, and they've brought the Warden, interestingly enough. I didn't actually think we'd see a Warden coming out from them. Maybe... I mean, the MPX is a good gun. I think he's brought it, hasn't he?
Did you... Don't tell me you think he's brought that because of the gun.
I mean...
Whenever a Valkyrie is available to be picked,
you know?
which just gives so much more. He's just playing this for God knows what reason. We
the
never
smart
will know.
glasses make you like plus 10 IQ, right? So
No, that's not how that works, James.
it's gonna help him make the
No,
spawn peak happen. So he's gonna get the spawn peak kill now because of
Nope.
his glasses. Oh no, not able to quite make it connect, unfortunately. But he didn't die. So.
He's an operator who's designed to play against Blitz, Glaz, and Ying, but those three operators are not meta. So, since they're not meta, neither is he.
It's unfortunate. He was designed for a different time.
Of course he was. He was designed for the Season 8 meta, which was absolutely... Oh my god. Flashbacks of nightmarish.
Yeah, let's not
Hell
get into
screams
that,
just
God.
raining throughout my skull.
Yeah. Things not looking too good for Sick6ers. They've almost lost their Thermite as well. Very, very low HP. Not dead just yet, but yeah, I think Guardians are just going to take everything. See the amount of people who are just peeking right now, and it's just, yeah, give them a gunfight right now. Things looking still very slow for Sick6ers. I'm not sure what their coordination is here right now. They just seem to be expecting runouts from everywhere.
Yeah, they're basically doing what I do, and that's just sit on the roof and wait for these guys to peek me, because after what they just did to them last round, I would not want to go anywhere near them for this specific reason. And it's just, it's just boring now, isn't it? It's just kill them already. Just put them out of their misery. Clearly, Sick6ers, they want to sit on the roof. Just let them be, man. There's no point.
just leave them alone.
Leave them alone, man. They're going to give you the win down to the time. Don't worry about it. Oh, well, that was lucky. And there's the quick refrag straight away. Gets gunned down, and there you go. Everybody is just dead. It's just death and decay.
I think as soon as they lost that Thermite, I think they just lost the round anyway. But yeah, you can tell that Sick6ers are very afraid of what's happening right now. But honestly, if I'm them, like, I'm bringing a Nomad, I'm bringing 5 Claymores, I'm just not even dealing with any of that right now. And we haven't really seen that. We've just seen them just sit and stare at windows, and even then, it hasn't worked out for them. They haven't been able to get many kills up on this attack. And now it's match point to Guardians. This is looking like a complete rollover right now from them, although we do have Cafe coming up, which, you know, may just go the same way.
Yes, more windows.
But that is Sickers. That's their map pick, so they didn't choose to come to Clubhouse.
That's true, but then again, Guardians have had their fair share of play on Cafe this season, so we know they can play that map, and whenever they're not playing with strategies, and Cafe isn't like the most over-eccentric strategy map. All of them are very basic, and they're solely relying on gun skill. They should have no problem just doing exactly what they're doing in Club. Because if this is what they're doing on a more strat-heavy map compared to Cafe, what are they going to do? What are they going to do in Cafe if this is what they're doing in Club?
They also get to, well, I assume they'll pick defense to start on Cafe as well, so
Yep,
that'll
and they just
definitely
run up
help them
a
little bit.
5160 tab, and there you go.
Well, Sick6ers are definitely going to have to try and pick it up if they want to bring this in at all, but things so far have not looked good for them. And normally when you see this kind of scoreline, you think that, okay, they've just done some really bad utility usage, or it's just been unlucky or in timing, but this is a team that is just scared right now, and they're letting Guardians run all over them right now.
Why has he done that?
5 seconds left.
Done what?
He just reinforced kitchen hatch.
Yeah,
Attackers are
so
moving
that
back
he
to
can
locate a
play,
bomb and defuse it.
you know, around it.
No, that. Why are they? Why have they done that?
Oh! It's so he can get the swamp.
Why has he done that one? Why are they reinforcing as if it's a down? Did they think that Sick6ers are that bad? They'll believe that it's a downstairs defense? Is this what they're trying to pull?
Defender has
Oh my
left.
This
God.
man's outside the map.
No, they have families. Oh, this is not good. Oh, he gets the kill! What? Are you kidding me right now? How did you let him do that to you? This is embarrassing right now for Sick6ers, and sheesh, they're not even being able to get any exit frags right now. This is a 5v2, and this is just embarrassing right now. But they are able to pick up one. Beckman has definitely been one of the top fraggers for Sick6ers, but yeah, this is, oh god, this is a slaughter.
Who's gonna be next to die? Oh, it's Beckman. And, well, now Sophia. 1v3, and let's see who hunts him down and kills him. So they're just playing
It's
the
winnable.
way they're... No, it's not winnable, James.
Winnable.
Don't. It's not winnable.
He's got full utility.
Man,
he's got
these
plenty
guys are outside
time.
of the map, and he's not even peeking them. It's not winnable.
He's Zofia. The Rook's really low HP. I think it's winnable. I
No.
like to stay optimistic.
You
about these
said
things,
said
so-
like round number 2 it was winnable for them as well, and they
Yeah.
also got landslided.
True.
You think everything's winnable?
Attackers
I've
think
seen
with the
these
right
scenarios
mindset-
play out 1,001 times, and they've all been wins for the defenders.
I
I've
think you
seen
just
this
need to
before,
believe more.
James.
I think your anti-believing is making them lose the match right now.
You're good.
Wow. That's unfortunate. Well, Mai's just going to play his life here with some exit frags, but I'm not sure what Brady's doing.
They're
He's
getting
running all
really
the way
annoyed they
down-
can't find him. Like,
up
they're
and down
getting
the stairs,
annoyed.
Like, come on, where is he? It's like almost wishing you had a jackal on defense, but
yeah,
no, that's going to be looked
winnable.
at. That's-
Yeah, winnable. Yeah,
It was winnable.
I think that was
It
winnable.
was completely winnable. But unfortunately, it's not going to be won today. And Guardians are going to look out the first map, 7-2. And I think, you know, I think the scoreline doesn't really represent how much of a one-sided slaughter that was from Guardians, especially when we push through onto the defense. But we're going to take a quick break, and then we're